Hey everyone, Todd here, internalarchitect.com. In this video, you're going to learn about the new normal. Now, as a cancer survivor, you've gotten through all this stuff, right? And now you're kind of back into kind of a normal life kind of swing of things again, right? But it's not the same, and that's why I call it the new normal. There's a number of things that you really have to consider as you move forward, each day as a new survivor. There are things that come up that are really, that will always be in the back of your mind, and there are items and different aspects of life that you're gonna see differently. The first thing I want to talk about is the fear of reoccurrence. Now, as cancer survivors, and depending on the treatment that you went through, there is the statistical chance of the cancer coming back harder and kind of more aggressive, because of if you went through the chemotherapy side of things. By taking all the chemotherapy, you really are increasing your odds to have another cancer down the road. Even if you are in remission now and you are feeling good and optimistic, there's that chance that could happen down the road. I, for one, think about this every day as one that went through all the chemotherapy to kill it, and to kill the lymphoma, to be where I'm at today. I don't know. As I am growing and as I'm learning, I am understanding more and more and more about the entire process. And so with that said, I'm doing everything that I can, knowing that fear is always going to be there, is to try to alleviate it by doing more healthy things, by trying to fight it with nutrition, and just be positive and mentally focused on beating this in a lifelong process. Even though that I'm just living in remission, but I want to be able to take this forward, and that's something to really kind of think about as your focus, as you are now a new survivor, and you may be thinking about this in the back of your head, or it's kind of sitting back there, just hey, I'm sitting back here, don't forget about me, and that's kind of a good motivating factor to really work on being aggressive with how you prevent cancer. I wish I would have known that now. I would have probably taken different steps, but that's then, this is now, and it's all learning experience up to this point. You're going to be going through a lot of different feelings. You will have a lot of moments and flashbacks into when you were going through treatment, going through the diagnosis stage of figuring out what was going on with you, and then through every other aspect of the treatment too. And it's important to acknowledge those feelings and to be able to talk about them, and this is where it's really kind of part of the new normal is to be able to talk to people about this. And that's why I think it's important to share your story also, so you can kind of help yourself, for one, really understand and really just work on getting through it. There's a lot of feelings that you go through, and a lot of emotions when you're faced with your mortality. And now that you've made it through, you're starting to really think of the future and things that you want to have, and taking this information and helping other people with it is hugely rewarding. And I think it's also beneficial for the person that experienced the cancer itself too. You will see the world in a whole new perspective. You kind of see, for me, right off the bat, I got to see just the entire spectrum of how everything worked. From we understand that there's a huge epidemic with obesity in the United States. A lot of it is cancer is linked to some of that, and then the nutritional values of the stuff that we eat, to you name it, all the above, people's lifestyles, their actions. You see it in a whole new perspective, and you see it in a way that that only cancer survivors can. And so take the time to really acknowledge the world around you and just be aware and observe, especially the things that are happening around you, so that you can start making educated choices and decisions of what you like and what you don't like. Hugely important, and I think a huge way to be able to grow as a person out after cancer also. I found it's important to, and I felt this way kind of going through the entire treatment processes, was to be able to find someone that I could relate to that was kind of in a similar situation that I was, or more just like kind of more my age and in a place where, you know, they were kind of dealing with things the same way, and someone that I could talk to about it outside of, you know, therapy sessions and doctors and oncologists. I mean, a little bit of everyone, right? I think it's important to get involved with some cancer support groups, even in your local community, because you'd be surprised at the people that you'll meet there. And the other good thing about that is they are like-minded in the sense of how they feel about treatment and everything else that goes on too. So, you know, I would highly recommend doing that. That was a huge thing for me, and I've actually met some good friends and gotten to know some people that I didn't even know had gone through cancer, but they use the support group as kind of a corkboard of ideas and discussions to help them through their time. And when they have questions, they have other people they can rely on that they feel can understand them in that light. So, you know, definitely need to try to find some people with similar experiences. That really makes a big difference also. With that said, you can also really help others that are going through it or have gone through it, and that's there in itself lies another answer to finding other people that have gone through, you know, being open to talk and use your story to help those people out and give them a little insight into what your story is all about and what your journey was about too. Relating to people with similar experiences and trying to find them, and then, you know, your desire to help other people also kind of goes hand in hand with each other. I found it was really, really comforting and a great way to help myself and help others really work through the entire after cancer survivor experience, and which is continuing to this day. So I would do those two. Taking action, really the best way to kind of work on all this stuff, and taking action towards all your different life pieces and parts, right? There will be difficult decisions that have to be made, whether that's with friendships or relationships or even where you live. It all kind of depends, you know. You got to really kind of follow your heart and feel what truly needs to happen now that you're going through this new experience as a new normal. You know, this is a new normal. There's no going back to the old you. You know, you obviously, because you're a cancer survivor, you made it through this experience, and now it's to stay motivated and to stay upbeat and to stay positive about it all. I will always encourage people to share their story, because their stories are so powerful. And if we're ever going to beat cancer and get the cures for cancer, which is going to be an incredibly tough battle, we all need to kind of join together and use our stories as a way to make it happen. There's a lot of very difficult entities within the entire medical side that really kind of prey off of it all. And our stories are going to be the thing, I think, that sets us free in the long run. So by all means, use your story to help other people learn about cancer and help other patients and survivors with it also. All this stuff will really come ahead, and all this stuff especially right after becoming a survivor, right as you become someone that is either cured or lives in remission, you're going to need some time to process all this, right? And it's not an easy route to take, because you just beat it, and now it's time to really start implementing and putting into place the new foundation to help you grow successfully as a new cancer survivor and to help everyone else. So, you know, that's what I'm doing with the Internal Architect and the concept that I created with my book. So, keep that in mind, and by all means, really start informing yourself about everything else that's going out there. So those are kind of the big things I really want to say with the new normal. It's an absolute blessing. It's a lot of work, and it's been one of the most rewarding things I've ever done in my life. To not only to beat cancer, but everything that I've learned to go after going through it all. And for that, I am forever grateful to everyone and everything that has kind of gotten me to this point. I question everything now, and that is absolutely a good thing. So thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate your time and your energy. I got a really good video coming out here in the next day or so. I'm actually introducing my stepdaughter as kind of someone that I bounce a lot of ideas off, because she is in the middle of getting her BA in social work and psychology. So it's been hugely helpful to have her to bounce ideas off of, especially as she's getting older and as just as a college graduate, going through and doing something that she feels super passionate about. And I bring her on and I talk to her. We talk about PTSD after cancer, and I think it's definitely one that you need to tune into. So pay attention to that. Look for it also. And thank you guys. I really appreciate everything and all the time and the energy that you do into watching the videos. And I can't thank you enough for that. So I hope you have a great afternoon, and I will see you on the next video.